Mohammed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hi, how are you?
Yani, first of all, I'm very, very sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Right now, it's 1 a.m. in Dublin. Um, so actually, Yani, I looked at my can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so I was looking at my calendar and it was saying 1 a.m., but I thought maybe there was a problem, so I was assuming it was Sunday, 1 p.m. So then I was like, okay, maybe there's a problem. But I stayed up and then I fell asleep. So then I saw your email and then it started alerting me. And then so now I woke up real quickly and I turned on my computer to get into this call. But I'm very sorry for being late.
That's completely fine. I hope you are comfortable at this time in with the webinar. Are you okay?
Yeah. No, no, I'm okay. I'm good now. Yeah.
You're good? Great.
Yeah.
Great. I think so. Let's just start quickly because we are already 15 minutes late. So we'll just start it quickly. Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic. So thank you all for joining us today. This is Karishma Sharma, Marketing Manager, High Counselor, and welcome to the webinar with our guest speaker, Mohammed. So before we continue, we'll quickly discuss today's agenda of the webinar. We'll quickly take you to the High Counselor overview, and then we'll give you a brief introduction about the guest, and which will be followed by the question and answer session, which is an opportunity for you to ask the questions from our guest speaker. Before we move forward, I'll quickly introduce you to the few ground rules and information about our webinar. So today's webinar will follow a question and answer structure. So our host today means me. I'll let you ask questions from our guest speaker. You will be you can always ask questions to us by commenting on the comment box on YouTube where we are live, and you can even share and like this webinar. Share with your friends even. So before we turn it to our host, we just want to quickly introduce you to ourselves. Who are we? We are High Counselors, an online and mobile platform that helps job seekers and students land their dream job by connecting them to employees who work at their dream company. I'm sure you all know by getting coaching from a company insider can dramatically increase your job. Not only it assures you that you're the right fit for the job, but also helps you in your landing in your dream job. So stay tuned until the end of the webinar and we'll give you a lot more information about the webinars. Also, we host such kind of webinars regularly. I would request you all to please sign up to our platform, www.highcounselor.in, so that we keep you updated about the upcoming awesome webinars. So quickly, I'll introduce our guest speaker, Mohammed Mente. So thank you so much, Mohammed, for your valuable time and participation. We would love to know more about your experience and professional background. Over to you, Mohammed.
Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Mohammed Jafari, and
Mohammed,
what's that?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. 1 minute. We would request if you can put yourself on a video mode.
Oh, okay. Okay, just a second.
Sure.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You may continue now.
okay, okay. So, hello, hi, my name is Mohammed Jafari, and this summer I'll be joining Google as a software engineer. And I do computer science at Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. Right now, though, I am studying abroad in Dublin at a university called University College Dublin. Still taking some computer science courses right now. And yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. I could go into depth about like my professional background and up until I got the internship offers and everything. But yeah, Karishma, would you like me to go
Yeah,
into that?
we would request if you can, tell us about your education background and professional experience.
Okay, so right now I am a third year student, and And my professional experience is that when I started off, so so coming into first year, I did not know what to do. I was very like I was just like it's like a like it's like jumping off a cliff. You head into university for the first time, and you really just have to juggle classes and everything. I had an interest in computers, but I just didn't know how to navigate things, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, which company I wanted to work for, and so forth. So what I did was I got advice from senior students, and in my first year, I was able to land a research internship at my university. And it was basically very simple because all I had to do was get good grades and impress my professors to be able to convince them that, hey, I am this good, so can I please work with you on a certain summer? And luckily, I did. I was able to land a research internship, and I did some malaria research, and it was to do with machine learning. Then after that, the research internship, as I was doing the research internship, I was also developing apps for Android. This was way before I even took a class for Android. I knew that I had an interest in Android. I wanted to develop something that I could use for myself. So I built a simple music player. I also built a desktop app. And again, this was just me trying to discover what I want to do and where I want to be. I also built a ton of web apps. It's just a sense of like exploring and trying to look for myself. Um, and right after so I was doing the things like, and when I'm not doing when I'm not coding for my professor, I'm doing side projects. When I'm not doing side projects, I'm coding for my professor. So like that. And then after the research internship, I still was struggling to find my way. So then I got another job at my university, and that was helping making changes to the university website, which was a great opportunity because I got to do this off class. So whenever I didn't have classes, I got time to go to the marketing office at my university and just code something up and change PHP scripts and so forth. Um, and then after that, I had something to write on my resume because right out of high school, I was just like an ordinary kid, so I didn't have anything concrete in my resume. So I started creating my own resume and I sent it off to a bunch of companies, got a bunch of rejections, mainly because my resume was very terrible back then. And this also goes into the importance of like giving people your resumes for feedback, especially people who are like 2 years or 3 years into the industry than you. I think, asking for advice is also very awesome. So in the next summer, this was the summer of my second year, I was able to land an internship at a startup. I did apply to huge companies like Facebook and Visa um, and even Google. But for Google, I didn't even make it to the interview level. For Facebook, I got rejected. But you learn through the process. And so I ended up doing an internship at a startup. It was like an oil drilling company. I was building an Android app for them and also fixing their current version as well. It was very demanding, startups, like you have to do a lot of things by yourself. So I learned a lot, and they even gave me a return offer. But then my goal was to like go for the big companies, because it was like it's my dream, it was my dream. So then when I before I started the internship with the startup, I set my goal. I asked around, how can I get a job offer from a company like Google? And so people started advising me, start doing lead code, concentrate on knowing one language deeply, like knowing one language concretely. That's very important. Do a lot of lead code in your free time. Know your algorithms and data structures, and know how to use them with the language that you know. And you don't have to know a lot of languages. You don't have to know a lot of systems. You just have to know one language pretty well. And if you know two, that's also awesome as well. If you know three, then very good, like just as long as you know what you say you know. And also, because I got rejected the last time, I took my time to sort of give a ton of students my resume, especially students who had already graduated, for them to review my resume and give me feedback on my resume, edit my resume as much as possible. And then after that, while I was doing the internship, the Android internship, again, after the office, I would set up 2 hours, 3 hours where I'll be coding by myself. And also, I would use something called Pramp, which is a website where you can sort of do interactive interviews with other people who are also practicing. So it will be like a online thing, and you guys are given questions. And trust me, if you feel like you know how to solve a problem, wait until you actually solve a problem for someone else, because it's another level of trying because when you're interviewing when you're being interviewed, you're trying to express ideas. So it's really easy to communicate with your mind, but it's very hard to communicate with someone else's mind. So practicing with someone else is very important and very crucial. Then after 3 months, I applied to a bunch of companies, got like 5 interviews. One of which was also, of course, Google. And the Google interview took around 3 months until 3 months or more until the offer. And I also got an offer for working as a technical, what do you call it? It's a software position at Goldman Sachs. So I think it was a very intense run. I got a lot of rejections, but at the end of the day, like, if you maintain that goal and you maintain your ambition and be consistent, I think it's very fruitful at the end of the day.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for such a lovely introduction. And it seemed to be quite, hardworking and challenging even. So, great. So, my next question for you is, what is your typical day as a software engineer intern?
So, so a typical day. Well, I mean, it depends on the company. So with with startups, there is sort of like less structure. So expect to do anything from a team. Like if a certain like if a person does not make it to work, or if someone is doing something else, then you are automatically responsible for what they're doing. So you have to be very flexible. With huge companies, it's sort of very structured. So you're sort of like doing something for a long periods of time, and it usually takes like a long time until you can onboard to another project. So you get in and you pretty much know what you're going to do in both small companies and huge companies. And you just work, and it's really good. From my experience, it's very good to do one-on-one meetings, mainly because if you think if you think that it's really less likely for you to actually code and know that you're doing the right thing without associating your manager or the person who's with you. It's very good to do like a one-on-one, or like even a daily, even a weekly, just like, giving your manager feedback. Hey, I did this, I did that, I did that. Do you think I should continue, or do you think this is much better? You just discuss with your manager, because actually something like I did get like a lot of setbacks with that when I was working for the startups. But sometimes I would go 2 weeks without contacting my manager, and at the end of the day, he would tell me like, no, that's not the direction we want to go. We actually want to go this way, and that's what I meant. And so it's very good to ask for feedback and all that stuff. But you know, mm, yeah. So that would be a day in the life, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, with the like being a typical day, what is the most fun part of your internship in it?
Oh, the fun part, meeting amazing people and actually making an impact. I think that's the most fun part. I think, I think, first of all, I think it's very important to look for a company that aligns with what someone's looking for. So if you really care about maybe health, or if you really care about if you're passionate about space, if you're passionate about, you know, autonomous cars, I think you should work for companies that, focus on these different things. And that will lead for you, it will lead you into working not just for the sake of making products work, but for the sake of feeling joyful after making it. I remember the most awesome moments were when I was coding for the oil company that I was working for. I actually managed to use this information retrieval library called Lucene in the Android application. And it made their search queries super fast. And it crunched all the sort of like when you download the app, it used to download a lot of files. It really like made that process very fast. And seeing those numbers, and I was able to present those statistics to my managers, it's like very joyful. I was like, wow, I'm able to make this huge, tangible. Like I could see things happen, and like, it's that's I think is the most amazing part, and also like meeting amazing people as well and learning from amazing teams.
Wow, that's really lovely. So,
Mm.
what was your job strategy to find software engineering internship?
So my strategy was to so obviously all the companies, right? There there are famous companies and those that are not really famous. So like for the famous companies, you just go to the website and you fill in the form and you send in your. Most of them would have a careers website. For the least famous companies, you would use websites like Indeed or Glassdoor or LinkedIn, right? But I can say from my experience that the best way, because okay, so it's all good and it's good and all applying online, right? But you get into a pool of thousands of applicants, right? And most of the times, even if your resume is top notch, even if your resume is really, really awesome, they might just pass through it without even considering you, right? Because it's online and they're looking at things very fast. I would say the best thing is if a student has career, what do you call it? Career fairs at the universities, those are really important to look at. When you have career fairs, you get to go to a company, right? And you show them your resume. The company, the representative of the company actually reads your resume. It takes 2 minutes or even 3 minutes. Those 3 minutes just going through your resume and asking you questions about your resume is so much valuable than applying online for that specific company. Because at the end of the day, like when you apply online, you're just in this pool of thousands and thousands of applicants. At the end of the day, like they might not even look at your application, because it's just online. But if you're able to meet up with a representative, if you're able to meet up with a person, just go to them and talk to them, go to career fairs, meet different networking meetings. Also, another awesome way of getting internships is through referrals. So if you guys do have friends who are working for major corporations or company that you're interested in, just ask them to refer you, and it will be like that's how you start your application process, and you're given much consideration if it's a referral. So, I would say those are the different ways I applied for different companies.
Thank you so much for such a valuable answer.
Mhm.
So, Mohammed, what are the three tips to make your resume noticeable for software engineering roles?
So first of all, I think for software engineering, someone should be very specific and like just straight to the point. So if you did something, just say it, what technology you used and what you did. I think from the from yeah, speaking from my experience again, I think you know I think yeah, so just be straight to the point. Secondly, focus on as much tech as possible, especially look for what the position is looking for. So if you have done like Android and web development, if you're applying for a web development position, focus much on what you did with the web, and try to align that with what you're applying for. I think that's pretty cool. Again, focus on tech because you're applying for a software engineering position. Also, make it as concise as possible, make it as clean, and just make it very short and clear. You don't want to build a lot of jargon, especially like going back to my point of applying to through a company's website. If your resume is like 2 pages, then they pretty much just have like a few seconds to go through your resume. You should make it very concise, very clear. And also, your first version of your resume is not your best version. Always get a friend to review your resume, to edit it, to like just give you constructive criticism. And just like if you can get as many people to review your resume as possible, then I think it will be nice at the end of the day.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the answer. So here
Mm.
comes my next question. What five topics or subjects did you focus to prepare yourself for software engineering internship interviews?
So I focused on algorithms. I focused on also, okay, five.
Yeah,
Okay, so wow, five subjects.
or topics, I must say.
Topics.
Yeah,
I mean, there were definitely more than five. So topic-wise, there were definitely more than five. I think know your graphs, in terms of like the data structures like and the algorithms associated with graphs. That's very, very important. No, like they should be in the back of your mind. Like if someone tells you code this in JavaScript, like you can know how to make a graph, you can know how to like implement the algorithms and everything, and you know the runtime, like you can be able to say, okay, we can use this in A scenario, but we cannot use this in B scenario. We can use this in B scenario, not in A scenario. And also another thing, know other data structures such as linked lists, know your trees, know the sorting algorithms. That's very important. And not just know them, be able to write them on a whiteboard, be able to write them on something like, the old version of Notepad. That's where you should be able to code in. If you can code in Word, that's you should be able to code in, because that's what I did for my Google interview. I coded on Google Doc. It was very plain text. So just know your linked lists. And know your sorting algorithms. Um, and what else? So mathematics, especially mathematics for computer science, I think that's very important. Um, hmm, what else? Wow, five topics. um, wow. I mean, if you can just focus on graphs and if you just focus on algorithms and data structures, I think like another one would be like short distance algorithms, Dijkstra's and all that. Um, and yeah, just focus on algorithms and data structures, like just in general. Like I can't say like what five topics, just all of them are very important. If you can look at like websites like Geeks for Geeks and stuff, they do have topics for you for yeah, algorithms and data structures like that.
great. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
So, Mohammed, what is the interview format of software engineering internship?
What is the interview
Interview
format?
format, yes.
Oh, okay. So firstly, you get at least for my experience, you get a phone screen. And a phone screen basically is just a way of like knowing you and knowing if you are your resume. And after that, you get arranged interviews. And these are technical interviews. So sometimes it can start with like, hello, how are you? My name is Dash, and I do this, this, and that in company X. Welcome today, and we'll be doing this, this, and that. And then you start off like a little introduction, and then you start off to the question. And these technical interviews are usually like 45 minutes to an hour. So you get like just one question, and you be able to sort of navigate your way from a really terrible solution to a better and better solution. And in every stage, you are asked, is there a better way to do this? Is there a better way to do this? And as long as you can keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, and explain yourself as you're doing it, I think that's the best. That's the best thing. And these are like, so from the phone screen to the start of the first interview, there's like a period of, for me it was like 3 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I did two back-to-back interviews, right? And then so like one with like on Google, on what do you call it? It was a video, it was a web thing, and we were sharing a Google Doc. And then after that interview, there was another person who came in. Yeah, it was Google Hangouts. Sorry. Yeah, there was another person who came in, and we did that as well. And then after that, um, I waited like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and there was another interview, one more interview, and this is like a special case. So usually it's just two interviews, but sometimes they need more interviews for collecting more data sources from you, just a company thing. But yeah, I did one more interview, which was for 1 hour, and then after that, after a few weeks, then you get your decision. But it depends on the company. Sometimes, like for Google, they have this project matching phase where when you apply and you get past the technical interviews, you get to a project matching phase where basically, which means that they like they have to match you with a certain project that's going on right in the location that you applied for. And if you get a project match, then good for you. If you don't, then it sort of ends there. But I know for companies like Facebook, if you're past the technical interview, then you just get it. And then once you get in, then you start looking for a project. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, with this, can you please, we would love to know if you can tell us about the five most important questions asked in the interview for software engineering internship.
So the five most important questions, from the interviewee or from the interviewer?
Or from the
Like,
one who takes the interview.
oh, okay. So I think, first of all, there should be a question about like the role, right? If you can ask about the role more, just like come up with a question, read more about the role on the website, the advertisement, right? Because obviously there's something that there will be you won't understand. Like there's something that you will need more clarification on, and also it will just show the interviewer how much interested you are in the role. Secondly, I think you should also have a question about the company. Um, you should the company in terms of like culture and stuff and how you can fit in. You should ask the interviewer, if you can, you should ask the interviewer about the team. Sure, you know about the role, but the team, how it works and everything. And I think hmm, if you can ask what the interviewer is doing, that's pretty nice. It depends on the company though. Some interviewers are just interviewers. Some interviewers actually have different roles in the company. And I think that's very interesting because it's a way to network with the interviewer. And if you guys can find like a space where you guys are communicating with shared interests, I think that will boost up your chances of getting a job offer. Um, then Yeah, then that's pretty much it, I think.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, for your answer. So my next question will be: What are the key three skills required for a software engineering intern role?
So in general, you should not just know your code, you should not just know um, the required technology and the language used. So that's first. You should know what technology is used. You should be good as a computer scientist, as a software engineer, right? So secondly, you should be a great communicator. Oftentimes eh, in people in our field, like they're really not outgoing people, right? So I guess that's a stereotype. Um, but you should be able to communicate your ideas very well, mainly because when you're going to be working with a team, and in order for a team to work, all the parts, all the entities, all the elements, all the people involved, need to be communicating and sharing ideas so that the team can move forward, so that the team can make an awesome product. So I think you should also learn how to be a communicator. And thirdly, I think you should learn how to not only just be a communicator, but yeah, okay, actually, in my second point, be a communicator and a good listener. So those are like two different things. So like you need to listen well, you need to listen carefully, and you need to communicate your technical knowledge and your technical ideas very well. And just, I mean, be consistent. Be consistent with what you're doing. Um, Always look forward and keep learning always. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. So, what are some of the challenges involved with software engineering role?
I think the first challenge is the first and main challenge for many of us coming up is that we don't know what to do. So we're not sure. Not that we don't know, but we're not sure, right? So if you can imagine a first year student, um, there are a lot of things that are going on. Like there's machine learning, there's like AI, and there's like web development, and there's game development, and there's, building this apps for iOS, Android, right? I reached a point where I was asking myself, like, should I do Android or iOS? Like, I wasn't even sure because you have only so much time to focus on something, right? So you can't really just because your mind you're just one person, so you can't really focus on a lot of things. So I think that's one difficulty, and I think in order to tackle that difficulty, you need actually to dip yourself into the different things you get a chance of dipping yourself into. So if you can do some game development, even if it's a little bit, and see if you like it. Do some VR, do something with the web, do something with like um, mobile apps. If you can do something, you will know if you like it or not straight away. So just do that. Secondly, I think, like the company. Oh, sorry. Secondly, I think yeah, the company and getting a job. I think that's very, very difficult. I think that's why we're even having this conversation right now, because obviously not everyone knows, right? So it's very important to find people who sort of have been where you are so that they can guide you and give you a sense of direction. I think in order to achieve that, one has to be very like just humble and be able to listen to all the criticism and be able to like absorb all the knowledge possible. So if you can network, you can meet up with as many people as possible. Just try and listen and be a good listener and absorb all that knowledge, because then it will give you a huge sense of direction of like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is not what I want to do, just by talking to people. And I think the third one is the pretty much the difficulty of everything, right? In terms of technical abilities, I think, even though not everyone in the field is a genius, it takes a lot of work and it needs consistency always. So if someone like I know like I want to do this, so I know it's not going to be easy. So I have to focus always. I have to build a plan, obviously review that plan with people who actually have been in my position before, and then just execute, always working, always working, always working, trying to improve. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. So, here comes my last question. What factors do you consider while selecting employees in companies for software engineering internship?
Oh, okay. So first factor is what the company is doing. Okay. Um, there are companies doing many things, right? So if you can think of like maybe Facebook is doing a lot of things, it has huge tentacles in different areas. So if you can find something that you really like in Facebook, then that can be really nice for you. So just know what the company is doing, be it a startup, be it a huge company, just know the field that you want to get into, know what they are doing. And because if you love what they're doing, then you enjoy waking up Monday morning, going to work and coding for them. You will enjoy that because obviously it's related to what you love. And secondly, the most important is another most important factor is the culture of the company and how they treat their employees. Obviously, I have my own preferences. I want like a place where, I'm given the freedom. So I'm Muslim. I want a place where I'm given the freedom to pray for like 5 minutes in the middle of the day. So that's for me like something I consider so much. So just like the working environment and like just the people who are there. And thirdly, the location. I think the location is pretty very, very important as well. Um, because just knowing where you are and if you're cool with moving to that place, and because just know where you want to be mentally, where you want to be with your family, where you want to be with your future, and just that's how you go there. And also at the end of the day, like, money does matter, right? So how much they pay you, obviously you don't want it to be outrageously under you, how much everyone else is offering, right? So you want to get paid the amount of money that sort of like matches how much you think you should get paid. But at the end of the day, like for instance, in my case, I got offers from Goldman and Google. I cannot give actual figures, but I was Goldman provided a huge amount of money for the internship. But I chose Google because at the end of the day, like, I knew what I was going to do at Goldman, um, but I was more excited about the products that I was going to work on at Google. So I chose Google. So yeah, those are the most important things when it comes to choosing a place to work for.
Thank you so much, Mohammed, for your valuable sharing, for sharing, valuable insights, expertise, and advices with us. So now I would quickly like to share a brief story of High Counselor Inception with everyone. We are there because of three major reasons due to which, most of the people find difficulty in getting jobs. Lack of connection with the company insider, and lack of information about company and job position, and candidates are at times not well prepared for the interview. So we solve this problem by connecting job seekers with the company insiders. What does exactly High Counselor do? Suppose I want to get a job at Facebook, and I could log into the High Counselor website or a mobile app, search for an current employee working at Facebook, and immediately book a phone or an email appointment for tips and career advice. Yes, you got me right. So you can have the one-to-one coaching from someone working in your dream company. Our counselors work in top companies in product technology and consulting domains. So if that is your target industry, definitely check out highcounselor.com. Just like this webinar, we conduct webinar every week. Do not forget to sign up on our High Counselor platform. It will help us to keep you posted about upcoming awesome webinars. As all of our webinar recordings are available on the YouTube, and moreover, we even went live today. So if you liked, if you and we'll even upload this recording also on our YouTube channel. So if you like today, kindly hit the bell icon here so that you are subscribed for the upcoming awesome webinars as well. I hope you all enjoyed our webinar, and it will be great if you can share a word of mouth of High Counselor with your social media channels. You can even share it with your friends, and you can just tell them about the webinar so they can, also come for the webinar next time and gain the valuable informations from it. So finally, I hope you all found this webinar really helpful. We'll send you a survey in next couple of days. We'll be hosting events like this regularly. So please let us know about what you think about us so that we can get you the maximum benefit and valuable information from those webinars. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for your valuable time and participation. We are very sorry to bother you, at this time of sleep. We're really sorry about it. Thank you so much. We loved it. And I hope all our attendees must have enjoyed the webinar. Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and making it a success. I hope you all enjoyed it and liked it. And keep just go to High Counselor platform, sign in so that you are updated with the next webinar as well. Do not miss. Thank you.